But for whatever their relationship means for them is going to be interesting to see or hear more about what that really means. Especially now, there's a clip of them saying they don't even call themselves married anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know what that's about.
You know, the rumors, open marriage, open relationship. So they may just disclose that on the next episode.
They may or may not. I'm just waiting. I'm like eating my popcorn like, ooh, what? The tea.
Literally eating your popcorn.
I literally was eating my popcorn prior to this podcast.
But I heard them say, what did I hear him say? Oh, yeah, that they did not yell or use loud tones with one another for 20 years. Which
do you believe that?
Find unbelievable. I mean, that's amazing. That's good. I think everyone should be as communicative as that, but it just sounds very unbelievable. I don't know.
But see, I always find myself in the middle where I can see both sides. And on one side, if I'm a cusser and my partner is a cusser and we're learning how to communicate with each other to try not to have these outbursts and disrespectful ways to communicate with one another, then I could see that being more of a challenge. But if my partner is a living example day to day of like what he wants to see out of me because he lives that himself, then I think it's probably just slightly easier to not easy, but easier to mimic that. So for example, you have, two people who smoke in the house and one person's trying to get off and the other one is still smoking. It's not going to work because, you're constantly going to be like, dude, like, I'm trying to get off smoking. Why? Like, you know what I mean? So I think that if one person is the demonstration and the other person is trying to get on that wave, then it's probably a little bit easier. And why, to kind of bring it back to.
I mean, I get that. That's idealistically sounds amazing, but that's not what he said. He said that they went from having a public argument with the 20 people in their house where she cussed him out and he hit her upside the head with the newspaper.
She cussed him out. So
that's what I said. I'm sorry. That's what I said. She cussed him out.
And they had an argument.
They had an argument because after she cussed him out, he hit her with a roll of newspaper on the side of her head. So I'm going to call that an equal display of emotions. And yes, I call that an argument. So if I cuss you out and you hit me with something, that's actually a physical altercation now. But sure, it's an argument still in my book. But yeah, so I don't see how you come from that. And then he said, after we left that room, we never cursed. We never raised our voices ever again for 20 years. And I'm like, it sounds amazing. That sounds great. But I don't see how you go from literally showing your ass and hitting each other over the head with newspapers in front of your friends to we never even raised our voices again in 20 years. Like, okay, you're summarizing a little bit there, buddy. Like, I just don't believe it just went from 0 to 100 like that. I don't know.
I think that in my opinion, again, when you have one person, I personally feel like that's a trigger for him. When somebody raises, he said it, but I'm saying based on that happening, it triggered him to hit her. But if she were to be like, hey, well, da-da-da-da-da, he would not have hit her. So I'm saying you don't have two people on that same kind of da-da-da-da-da. So once he communicated, this is what it is. This is how we are not going to continue to move forward. And
but it's like,
oh, what? You're going to break up with me over words? I personally feel like Jada probably, yes, she probably struggled with it for a second. But I'm sure
because you don't just go from being a cusser reacting, and it's okay for him to hit her over the head because she brought it out of him. But maybe he brought out of her wanting for her to cuss him out. Like, it can't go one-sided. Like, oh, Jada brought out that side of Will, and that's just, he only did that because he made her. Like, the reaction of it. But it's just like, we all are accountable for our reactions. So
exactly,
I just don't see how you go from.
Which is why he said, in my opinion, don't do this because this is what will happen. And this is my fear based on me hitting you over the head with a roll of paper towels. It could be my fist next time because this is something that maybe I've struggled with. So I'm just saying that it does seem very strange to just go from this way all your life to someone having a conversation and then you're like, next day you're got to be perfect for the next 20 years. I don't think that that's for Will. Yes, I can see that because he's probably more disciplined with this way of life and not talking like this. But for her, I think that it was probably more of a self-discovery for her versus it being something that they both are trying to figure out, because in his mind, he's like, I'm gone. Like, there is nothing to work out. Like, this is what I expect. If you can't do this, I'm out. And she either had to get right or get left. And apparently they're telling us that she got right. And I'm sure that there was things that he had to do. Well, I don't know. I can't say that because I'm almost 100% positive that there have been things that she's had to just suck up and take from him.
Yeah, it seems from the conversations, it seems like, Will, yeah. I see why she wanted to get away from being wife and mom, because it seemed as if he was very demanding in a way of what he expected from a wife and a marriage or whatever, and probably why she wanted to break out in hives thinking about marrying his ass.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of resentment.
God bless
Lots of resentment.